good. And I'm so happy to finally do this with you, no? I mean, I'm so happy that we are in touch on Facebook and Messenger and all that. But my gosh, to finally like talk to you like
Finally, when I can talk and see your face, it's so nice. It's so nice to see you,
I
and it's been a
know.
long time.
It's been a long time. And so I was thinking, I was actually remembering, trying to remember when I last saw you. And it was in King's Court in Makati. We ran into each other for
How many
some
years ago
reason.
was that?
Oh gosh,
That's how many
maybe
years ago?
maybe early 2000. Early
Pretty
2000. Oh my
okay.
goodness. So anyway, I would like to welcome everyone who is watching today. I am so happy that we are going to be talking to my very good friend Romina. Romina and I go way back as in 1990s, okay? And we were we were on a trip in Europe together and we just had the best time. So, that kind of was the foundation of our friendship, and since then it's been interesting. We would see each other here and there, and but thankfully, because of Facebook, because of Messenger, we're in touch. Go ahead.
So thank you so much for having me. It's nice to be here and talk to you. Like you said, it's been a very long time. Um, I'm actually here in Vancouver, Canada. So I live here. I've been living here for the last going to be 10 years. And I don't even know where to begin because
Yeah.
I've done many things, and I'm constantly trying to just explore and do other things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in Manila, when I was in Manila, I worked after school. After school, I went to the States. I did a course in journalism, and I came back and I worked for ABS-CBN Publishing for
Oh,
many years. So I started Chalk Magazine with ABS-CBN Publishing.
remember
And
Talk
then,
Magazine?
yeah,
I
that was,
do.
that was like my baby. And I also just got married. And then as I had my first child, I moved also
Yeah.
into different markets within the publishing industry. So I started with Chalk, which was catered to teens and college kids,
Yeah.
and then I ended up working in Metro magazine, which is the lifestyle magazine of PBS.
Yes.
Then I ended up also working for Working Mom magazine. I had
Yes.
kids and I ended up going to Working Mom. And then I wanted to focus a lot on my family. So I also ended up doing Metro Weddings, which
Yeah.
was a biannual publication, which
Yeah.
was the perfect pace for me at that time because, I had my kids and
Yes.
I couldn't be going out every night. And, that whole scene was
True.
great when it happened. But at that point, I wanted to continue being in publishing, but really doing work that I really loved. And I discovered that I love the wedding industry. I love collaborating with different designs, so with fashion, with the florists, with the cake designers,
Mhm.
creating the whole mood, the theme, and that's really what I realized I enjoyed.
And
So I did that for a while.
yes, yes. No, I was just gonna say, Ramina. So I love how it all kind of flowed. So may I say easily? Because as you were kind of, changing your life, right? The magazine was also kind of giving you opportunities to explore,
Yes,
different things.
yes.
But I want to take a step back. When you were in college, even when you were in the States, were you already envisioning like a life in journalism? Was that kind of the plan?
No, first, no, not at all. Like I went to school in DLSU,
Okay.
and hello, I entered with legal management, and I'm
Right.
like dying, giving
Yeah.
major anxiety. Just like I can't take this math. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I shifted courses, and because I thought I wanted to end up in Europe and study in Europe. So I took international relations and European studies and the EU wasn't even formed yet. Like it was just starting to form the EU. That's how far back it was. So I
Amazing.
thought it was pioneering to focus on the European Union, and I wanted to end up in Europe.
True.
But fated habit that I ended up getting work as a model. So I modeled for many years, and that really gave me the opportunity. Like,
There you
I met the best people. I worked with the best people in the industry,
go.
which is kind of related to the publishing industry
Yeah.
because the lifestyle side,
Yeah.
right? So that's what gave me the push to go and study a little bit more on journalism and to learn.
Hmm.
And so when I came back and I was offered the position in Chalk to be editor in chief, it was such a big step for me. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was just starting. Like I learned on the job,
True. True.
and that's how it happened. Like never did I envision it to happen when I was in school. Are you kidding? I didn't
Yeah.
really know what I wanted to
Right?
study.
I love that. I love it. I love how you kind of just saw doors open and then you kind of just entered. No, it's almost
And
as
that's
if
really what it is, right? Like you have to grasp the opportunity.
yeah.
Like if I was in my head, if I was just it's going to be Europe or bust, it
Yeah.
wouldn't happen,
Yeah.
because other doors are opening. And if I was just shutting it without even exploring it,
Yeah.
then I wouldn't have discovered this whole other world.
That's
So it's really I talk to my nieces and
yeah.
nephews
Yeah.
and even my daughter who's already 16 now, and I'm saying, I
Wow.
know you have plans, and
Yeah.
plans are awesome, right? But you also have to be very mindful and be aware that these are some opportunities that come your way, and you really have to think about, does it feel right for me, right, at
Yeah.
that moment?
Yeah, yeah. That's a very good point. I was wondering, Romina, what kind of maybe advice or guidance, no, could you give our audience, especially the ones who are graduating pala, right? The college kids, or maybe
Yeah,
even the ones who are just in their first job. Like, how do you know when an opportunity is right for you? Like,
like yeah, it's hard to discern, right? It's
right?
very hard to discern, especially when you're very attached to
Yeah,
something
yeah.
and then something completely different comes your way. Like how do you discern that? So I mean, I pray about it a lot. i
Definitely.
I have my faith and I don't rush into things. It has to sit well with me in that sense. um but also it's a couple of things, right? Like, is it something, first of all, that you can see that you can be good at?
Yeah.
Like I'll never be a basketball player. That's just not what it is. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm never gonna be an actress. I can't act. Like you have to also be realistic and say, are these the skills that I'm good at as well, or something that I can develop?
Very
Like, if you're gonna have a dream, go for that dream, but be realistic and see, like, are these skills that I have, are these skills that I can build on?
yeah.
Are the network of people that I have in my life gonna help me and support me towards this or not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's not just having that dream. A dream is awesome. That's a great starting point. But for me, like, you have to be realistic about the point that you are in your life
Yeah. Yeah.
and the skills that you have. Like, you also have to love it, right? Like, it has to be something that you're attracted to.
True.
It's like meeting someone,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
like meeting
Yeah.
someone. Like, you have to be attracted to that person with their either their physical or
Yeah.
their personality. Like, there has to be something that attracts you.
Yeah.
And that's the same with opportunity.
Hello.
One opportunity is exciting for one person and it's not exciting for another.
True.
So,
True. I
it
love that
has.
analogy. Yeah. Because when you go into a relationship, Ramina, I mean, it can't be all up, right?
I
There are moments when
know.
right? So could we talk a little bit about that? When you went into these different opportunities as they opened up for you, how did you kind of manage the challenging areas, when times got kind of rough? How did you kind of navigate that?
It's hard.
No,
Honestly, it's really
reality check,
hard.
no?
Yeah, it's really hard. Like, when I went to school in New York, it was like, do I stay here or do I go
Oh,
back to the Philippines?
yeah,
What do I do?
yeah.
And I was dating Monchu, my husband, now, but I was dating him then, and I left him to go to school. I was like, I want to do this. Like, I
Long
want to do this for
distance.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were already dating, and then he left, and then I left, and he was like, "What?" And I'm like, I have to do this for myself. I want to see if I can do it. And he was supportive of that, but then you can only stay. I could only stay in New York for a certain period, right? Your visa can only make you stay for a certain period.
True.
And but I could have just told myself,
Yeah.
I'm gonna find a way. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
stay here in New York,
Find work and stay. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I wanted to go back. A big
Yeah.
part of it was because I knew he was the one for me, and that played a big part of it. Like, family was really important to me. I knew I wanted to build a family. That was something I knew I wanted. I didn't know when, how it was
Yes.
gonna happen,
Yeah.
but I knew it was something that I wanted. And when I came back, the opportunity of working for ABS kind of came
Yeah.
very suddenly, very very soon. So it felt
Amazing.
right. So
Amazing.
things like that. Then of course a whole other discernment when it was like, do we move to Canada? Do we stay here? We're
Yeah.
doing well man here. Why are we going to Canada?
Yeah.
Like the
Wow.
my daughter was 7, my son was 2, and my other son was 1. And
Wow.
like the
Wow.
shift of
Wow.
like 2 babies in diapers still, and
Yeah.
it was just like, what are we doing? So you're always presented. Like, I really believe that you're always presented with all these crossroads, big or
Yeah.
small. Like, you really are. And it's really a test. It's a test, and it tests your marriage, it
Yeah.
tests your
Yeah.
relationship, it tests your resolve, it tests your faith.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and you have to be able to lean on those things when you're
Love
making
it.
those decisions.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? I think I one point that I'd like to kind of highlight in that whole part of the story, Romina, is that one thing that I've always remembered and loved about you was your 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 values are so solid. Faith, family. Ever since I met you, I knew you to be like that. So how the way you are slowly kind of revealing your story to us, I can see how when you are somebody who has that resolve, I guess, and parang that clarity that these are the things that are important to me, then when you discern, it kind of helps that you know that at least this is intact, and therefore I can go forward with this decision. No, I mean something like that. I hope that makes sense. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, and I kind of call that negotiables and non-negotiables. So
correct.
I think
Correct.
when you graduate school,
Yeah.
or even when you meet someone who that
Yeah.
it's becoming a serious relationship, you really tell yourself and say, what are the negotiables and what are the non-negotiables in my life,
True.
and that kind of helps with the direction of
Yeah.
what you're gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Because and those are some things that you can be wishy-washy about many things, but
Yeah.
if you know that there are non-negotiables,
Yeah. Yeah.
then it's
That's
kind
it.
of easier to stay on
Yeah.
track,
That's
you
right.
know
That's
but
right.
it will always be tested. Always, always, always.
We're not saying that's
Yeah,
it. Yeah, this is not a
always
solid
tested.
formula. That's true, no?
Always tested. But what are the negotiables and the
Yeah,
non-negotiables?
yeah. And that takes a little bit of honesty with yourself, no? Just really owning up to that. And then I think that also helps with down the road when you're kind of wondering if I made the right decision, then you can say, but this is how I was thinking of it. And it kind of really
Mhm.
lessens your anxiety and regret, no? Even regret. So, but that's great. That's great.
And
Yeah.
it also minimizes the background noise,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because everybody has an opinion. All your family
True.
members, all your friends,
Yes.
all you always have that voice in the back of your head that's saying, is this the right decision? All of that.
Yeah.
So if you're clearer, the more you're clear with your non-negotiables, then the background noise gets diffused, and then you have more clarity about what you want.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I think that one is one of the takeaways that I would like everyone to write down right now, you know, because that's really awesome. Very good. Rumina, I think that's what you mentioned when it was about when you were talking about relationships is a perfect segue to what I want to highlight today, which is what you're doing now. And we thought you said, you know, you gotta love what you're doing. Tell us about what you're into right now.
I have I have I have two things. So I'm here in Canada. When I moved here, I did syempre you're moving to a new country
Yeah.
and it's like everything new, most of the publishing, and I also did events in Manila.
Yeah.
So most of that, all the head offices are in Toronto. They're back east. They're not really here in British Columbia. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? And I also had babies. Like I knew I couldn't work full time
Yeah.
because childcare is insane here. It's
Wow.
insane, like so expensive. Like it's better not to work as
Oh,
to like all your sweldo is gonna go to childcare. Like it's insane. So in the beginning when my babies were small, like I stayed with them and I worked on the weekend. I would get jobs here and there. I would be like I worked for CBC, which is their like broadcasting company, and they would get me for events to just help out and like volunteer in the beginning, all these things.
yeah.
Just so just so I can get immersed in how it is to work in another country.
Yeah.
It's so different.
Oo.
Yeah,
Galing. Yeah.
my husband, of course, he closed his architectural firm in the Philippines,
Right.
um, to pack up and come here. So that was a big change for him, and that was scary for us because it's like, what are we gonna do now? What are you gonna do, right? And everything is like concrete construction there. So he wanted to learn wood construction. So he worked like as a carpenter just to
Yeah.
know how
Yeah.
wood, how to build
Heaps.
a lot of wood and so on. So it was like going back to really basics of, it was really a test. It was hard,
I-
super hard. And then just like anything, in one of the jobs I had on the weekend, I met someone who worked in property management.
Okay.
So property management is taking care of rental properties throughout the city,
Yes.
right? So when she was like, Romina, you should apply for this job. There's a rental services agent that's coming up. It's really more customer service, whatever. And I was like, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let's see. I don't know. Okay, let's give it a try, right? So I read about it and so on. And the factor that really attracted me to it was that I could work part time, and then I could even pick my, like, what days I could work. They just needed
Ah,
help. Perfect. It's just gonna work
flexibility
for
was
me.
there, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this will work for me because, for the kids and so on. So as they grew up, I entered this company, which is one of the biggest like real estate companies here in Canada. It's called Concert,
Mm.
and I work in the property management division. So that was how many years ago? 5 or 6 years. Oh no,
Mm.
6 or 7 years ago already
All
since
right.
I started. So now I manage a building downtown. So that's 88 suites that I take care of. So that's my day job.
Amazing.
So that's my day job. So that's my day job. I go to work every day. My kids are already like, they're already in school. Carmen can watch them. My mom's here also in Canada. I was able to sponsor her. So she's also able to be with the kids. So again, the timing just
Yeah.
works out, right? So I was off. I was working as the rental agent. So I was assisting the building manager, the rental services manager. But as my kids were able to be in school full time, and my mom was here and so on, I was offered the position to be the building manager.
Amazing.
So yeah, so it works out, right? So
Yeah.
God is good. His
So
timing
good.
is perfect. I
Yes.
tell you, timing is perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, like sometimes when I worry, there's so many things to worry about. Like there's just
Yeah.
so many things.
Yeah.
Then when I worry, I feel bad because I'm like, I know you got me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you got
True.
me.
True.
So that's what I'm doing. It's a very corporate job,
Wow.
and it's very corporate. There's a lot of customer service. I deal with a lot of
Wow.
residents. Like I was just telling you earlier, I'm all
Yes.
caught today. So if
Yes.
my phone rings and there's a leak in the building, I'm gonna have to attend to it. Like,
Yes.
things like that. Like, you think I never thought that I would do that. Like, never.
Right?
Okay. It's never. But listen, it's not easy. It's not easy living in another country. We need two incomes to survive. That's the whole truth about it. Um, and my husband is working as an architectural designer. So he started his own company and he just finished. So we're going to be designing and building homes here. But
Amazing.
but it's because I work for a reputable company, right?
Yeah.
And I work for them full time.
Yeah.
And really, I'm working for the benefits for my family.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I happen to enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
But it doesn't give me it doesn't fill me up creatively. It
Right.
doesn't,
Right.
right? Like I do all the posters in my building and
Uh-huh.
announcements, and
Yeah.
that's as far creative as I can go. Okay.
And we know you need that. You need the juices flowing.
And I really realized that I was getting very short. I was getting this is like, why am I doing this? And so on, right? So, and then I realized I need a creative outlet. Like I've been working in creative fields all my life, and suddenly not, right? So I had to look really and say, what am I gonna do? Like, and so that's how I came across this other like passion that I've been doing I've been doing it during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it's called Botanical Wearables and Live Jewelry.
Yeah.
So I was just researching. I do courses online, when I have time.
And this is the part of the interview where we are going to actually show them all these images that you've been posting.
Oh, you have images. Awesome.
Yeah, because it's just really amazing how you are using what's out there, what's naturally available, and like repurposing them, And it's just amazing how not only is it beautiful, but I feel like not a lot of people really realize that you can do this with that material. Yeah. Oh my goodness, babe, I love it.
It's been super fun. Yeah. So Botanical Wearables and Live Jewelry are really for special occasions because there's no water source, right? Yeah. So when you do the live jewelry, it's not like there's a vase. There's no water source. So there are ways to hydrate it, like in between, but it's really meant for special occasions. So like I did my niece's wedding. That's how it all started. We did it in Stanley Park. She asked me to do her bouquet and her headdress, but I was like, can I please do like cuffs for your guests, for your ninongs, like that. For your mom, I did a moss purse for her mom. Things like that. And she was like, yeah, Tita Romina, go for it. So that's where I was able to play. And oh my gosh, I had so much fun. I was going crazy. I was working on it really, really late at night. And I had to wake up in the morning to go to work, but I didn't care. Yeah. And it's really more of a stress reliever for me. It really is a stress reliever. Like, many people bake. I can't bake. Yeah. Like my husband's the cooker, my kids always say. So this was really it was such a great creative outlet. I was small, I really wanted to open a flower shop. The best part of my job in weddings was really working on the arrangements. When I did events at a company with some relatives. Yeah. And we would do funerals, we would do weddings. And so I was the first one in Dangwa buying flowers.
Yeah, raising your hand.
Yeah. So I've always liked it, but I was so attracted to this form of of using blooms and botanicals as jewelry. I was very attracted. And hello, I love accessories. It has so many accessories. So it kind of really it fit to what I like anyway.
My goodness, Romina, like in my head, I want to say so much about the whole journey, not just because you found something that you love and you're doing it right now, but even the fact that you're in Canada where you got a whole variety, different seasons and all these choices. It's like really when you were younger thinking that you wanted a flower shop, you couldn't have imagined it was going to be this kind of flower shop. Right?
Yes. So, and at this time, right? Like I don't have I don't have a physical store. I don't get,
Yeah.
it's all through Instagram. It's because of this time.
Yeah.
So the brand is Antofilo Botanicals.
Mm.
And it's, yeah, people just, I post
Yeah.
whatever I make. And,
Yeah.
I've been getting good feedback. So it's been great. We joined the Filipino-Canadian Art Museum exhibit.
There you go. Yeah.
I was invited to be part of that, which is like so killing for me, Kai, because like, artist? No,
Yeah.
no, hindi lang. I'm not an artist. And they refer to me as artist.
Yeah.
And then, that's like something new to me. And
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
it's reinvention. It's
Yeah.
reinvention. Like I'm reinvigorated.
I
And
love
in the
it.
same way, it makes me appreciate my day job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like, because now that other side of my brain is taken care of,
Yes.
I'm happy because I'm taking care of my family too.
Yes.
But then this is for me. Like
Yes.
this is something I can play with,
Yep.
And because the thing is really more for special occasions, I also do kokedamas. I don't know if you can see my plant in the back.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I call it a potless plant. So it's a Japanese moss ball. So here also in the back I have a couple of moss balls. So I wrap it in twine. I play with the earth and I form the ball and I do the twine. And that's the one where many people are ordering it for gifts.
Yeah.
For arrangements for their home.
Wow.
And like
How
I was
long
never a
does that
plantita. Like
I know, right?
no. I was like, I don't grow stuff. I just use cut flowers.
Yeah.
I don't grow stuff. I'm experimenting.
Mm-hmm.
So there, after work,
Yeah.
I come and then I do it at night. So good luck. So now, like, in the weekend, oh my gosh, I have to clean the house. I have to do laundry. My laundry's piling up.
Yeah, I know, right? Who wants to
Yeah.
do laundry when you can do leaves and flowers and all that,
I have to give and take.
right?
Yeah.
But nakakatuwa. I love how it's all balanced now. It's all balancing out. There is balance and there is all this outlet and expression. And I'm so happy for you, Romina. You
Thank you.
completely deserve
you.
this. I love it so much. As we go
Thank
to as we go towards the end of the interview, I was wondering, if you can share any words of wisdom, any words that can help our younger ones who are trying to find their own path, especially the ones who aren't very clear on what to do, but maybe, a seed, a passion project, an idea is already brewing.
Yeah.
What can you tell them?
I think it's really opening yourself up.
Yeah.
Like you need to open yourself up. You need to challenge yourself and you have to volunteer and do other things. You can't just be like, now at this day and age, you can't be just focused on just doing one thing.
Yeah.
You have to see and meet people and be really curious and just try to see how you can contribute to the community. That can be a start, or contribute to your church, or contribute to even within your family. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to open yourself up.
Yeah.
Now that you're young, when you're young and you just graduated, when I was that age, I had the tendency of just, okay, no, I have to do this,
Yeah.
But you need to be flexible. You need to be open. You need to explore. Like, you need to explore, because it's in that exploration where you realize, this is something else I can do.
Yeah.
And my gosh, boy, have we been tested. Like, this last year of the pandemic, we've been tested. Whatever we're used to is out the door. Whatever job we had that was secure isn't secure anymore. Like, so you have to be able to reinvent yourself, right? Because
True.
how?
Yeah.
How do we survive,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's right.
So if you're open and with that kind of attitude, then it's easier to attract, new opportunity.
Completely. And I love that message, Romina, because I think it also speaks to the older ones. Yeah.
If you see my mom, she doesn't look her age, because it's her attitude.
Correct.
It's her attitude.
Correct.
Like, yeah, nothing really faces her. Like, can solve anything. Like she's
Yeah.
always, don't
Go,
worry. Like,
go, go. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
it's
love it.
nice.
Please give her my regards, Romina.
I will. She's so happy that we're talking. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, it's been so
I
long.
know. I
Yeah.
know. Well, you can't see it very well, but I wore a shirt with a flower purposefully on purpose.
Oh,
Interview.
yes. It's nice. You have like that so I can see the bottom half.
Yeah, right. It's an
Yeah.
airy shirt, but yeah, it has a flower.
I
So
should have worn live jewelry
I
today, but
know, my
no,
God.
I I had my day job, guy. Couldn't make one today. Couldn't make one yesterday. So
One
you
day I will fix my hair well, and I really hope to get to wear one of your live jewelries. My goodness, I cannot even begin to imagine how much fun it is when you make it. You know,
super
I can just
fun. Like,
feel like the energy.
that's my goal. I want to do a little bit more of the weddings next
Yeah.
year. I want to be able to work with some brides next year and really create a whole palette and a whole like collection for the wedding. That's something that I want to do.
For you and your dreams, Romina, I wish you all the very, very best. I'm
Hi,
gonna
thank
stand.
you. So cool. Thank you so much.
Of course,
Thanks so
cheering you
much.
on from
To all
Manila.
your viewers, to all your viewers, no, this has been fun, and I hope you know that you learned a little something from us oldies.
Yeah. Just give us a chance. True, true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Romina.
Bye.
Always, okay?
Bye. Bye, Manila.